had it there in that segment, the ground literally moved under your feet. Explain how that affected these rescue efforts today.
Well, Francis, just shortly after 2 o'clock this afternoon, that's where two of those tremors were experienced here at the Sibanye mine here in Carletonville, basically bringing the search operation for the 3 miners who've been trapped since yesterday to a halt for close to an hour. Now, that was done in order to make sure that the surface itself was going to be assessed and to rather gauge how dangerous it would be for the rescuers to continue with their operation. So we had that halted for close to an hour because of the 2 tremors that took place. And certainly the families and many of those concerned about what has happened here at this mine are saying that any delay in trying to find those who remain trapped underground, of which we don't know at this stage whether they are alive or not, certainly raises serious questions and is of grave concern.
Outline for us, where exactly are we in terms of the rescue effort and those who've been brought to the surface, some being treated?
Well, Francis, in terms of where we are with the rescue mission itself, it's very difficult to say. All the details that we have at this stage is that you would recall 4 of the miners were confirmed dead. We understand that 3 of the bodies of those 4 have been brought to the surface. The 4th is still yet to come to the surface. And with regard to the 3 trapped miners, what we do understand pertaining to that is that rescuers have managed to locate one of the 3 trapped miners. We're not sure what his condition is at this stage, but the search then would continue for the bodies of the 2 others where it's not known where they're located at this stage within that shaft.
The minister was dealing with mining charter issues. I understand he's on his way to where you are.
Well, that's right, Francis. Judging by an earlier statement that was issued by his office, which was quite strong-worded, where the Mineral Resources Minister, Gwede Mantashe, basically lambasting this mine, saying that there have been too many incidents that have taken place here. To quote verbatim, what he basically said was that of the fatalities in the gold sector that seem to be rising, Sibanye seems to be a major contributor towards those fatalities, and basically said that 30% of the fatalities that were seen in 2017 were as a result of seismic activity. And that's exactly why we are here today, is because of that seismic event that took place on Thursday. So what the minister then would want to do is to get some answers about exactly what happened here, how much longer is it going to take for these miners to be brought to the surface, dead or alive, and also what's going to be done to ensure that perhaps the measures that the mine has put in place thus far are beefed up, because you'd recall in that statement that the minister had issued earlier this today, he did say that the issue of seismic events at these mines are of grave concern, and he is now going to involve quite a number of departments, including the Geosciences Department, to try and see what measures can be put in place to try and detect the seismic activity even before it happens and causes the impact that it has had at this particular mine.
And the mine says these things are hard to predict. Of course, there's the technology there. There will be a blame game, unions blaming the mine. I don't know. What are the families saying, Chriselda, about the responsibility of the mine? Do we know where they are at right now?
Absolutely distraught is what I can tell you, Francis. None of them wanted to speak to us throughout the day, and quite understandably so. What the mine has done has taken several of the affected families for counselling. That has happened well into this afternoon. So quite understandably, they're not able to speak to us on camera, but the sense that we're getting from them is that they want answers about how exactly this happened and how the mine plans to take responsibility for this. And I think what would be more consoling for them, perhaps, as they grieve, is to try and hear from the Mineral Resources Minister about what is going to be done about the fatalities that we have seen within this sector. You would know at this particular mine, this is there have been 7 fatalities here since the beginning of this year, and this is almost double in terms of what we saw dating back to 2013, because from 2013 at this mine, you've had only about 2 deaths per year. So the incident here today brings to 7 the number of fatalities since the beginning of this year. So all the unions have also expressed great concern about what is taking place here, and they're also demanding answers. So really, this evening, as these families, if at all they do go to bed, will be very concerned and are hoping for some good news as this search continues this evening.
All right, thank you very much, Chriselda Lewis. She's been monitoring those rescue efforts and will continue to do so. Perhaps we check in with her later.